Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, September 16th. Oops, let's go back here and look at the impact map. Sorry about that. Isolated showers still lingering across northeastern areas of Utah as low pressure pulls out. Otherwise, high pressure briefly builds in with drying, somewhat warming conditions Wednesday into Thursday. But if you notice in the far southeast, some showers start pushing back in from a tropical storm or the remnants of it that'll be pushing across Southern California later this week. This satellite imagery, we see still low pressure here, clipping our eastern areas with clouds and some scattered showers, especially in the daytime. Heating catches up to it later this afternoon. We'll have to watch if you went to Wasatch and maybe some of the higher terrain in eastern Idaho and western Wyoming for some showers. There was some lightning and shower activity in those areas again yesterday. With that lightning, we didn't have any new starts particularly there, but had a lot of lightning over the past several days, and there are some new starts, all pretty small. Not much significance there. Over the past week, we had some good rainfall amounts. The greens are a half inch to an inch over the central Idaho mountains, some spotty stuff over northwest Nevada, maybe a quarter inch or so locally, a half inch, and into eastern Utah. But there was drying across much of the southern areas and central areas. But if we go back to 2 weeks ago, and total things up, they did have a very good shot of moderate to heavy rain in our southern areas as well. So that's why the ERCs are all in the green, at or below the 50th percentile, with a handful of stations pushing between the 50th and the 70th, and actually a couple here in northern Utah, somewhere between 70 and 80%. Those are the exception rather than the norm. Looking at for later today, we have that low pressure area still lingering over northeastern portions of our area, clouds and showers, otherwise drier air pushing in across about 90% of our geographic area. There is that subtropical moisture to the south, remnants of what was once tropical storm Mario moving up northwards. Yellow and greens are predominant on our map. We are drying out humidity-wise, upper single digits to low teens across much of Nevada and even into southwest Idaho, southern Utah as well. 20 to 30% as you head further north. No significant winds. Some breezy winds of maybe 20 to 25 miles an hour, maybe locally close to 30. Parts of the central Utah mountains, nothing significant. Drier air pushes in on Wednesday. There's some subtropical moisture to our south. More of our PSAs are starting to dry out. Light winds. Again, humidity starting to dry out a little bit as well, even up north, getting more into the 20s. But then you see on Thursday, some of that moisture starts to creep into southern Nevada, and will start tickling the Arizona Strip as well. Basically, any area here, not just in the green, but in the black, could see some isolated showers, maybe heavier under the areas in the green. That's why we've greened things out on our 7-day over parts of southern Nevada. Humidity, which was 9% down in Vegas, starts going up to 21%, and it's even higher along the California border where we could see those showers. Otherwise, still dry air across much of Nevada and parts of western and southern Utah. 3-day precipitation totals. This takes us through Thursday night into early Friday morning. You could see some of those heavier amounts starting to get into southern Nevada, maybe far western portions of the Arizona Strip. Not much eastward progression into Utah, and some parts of Utah may not really get much of this moisture. It may stay to the west, but definitely remoistening a lot of areas that have dried out recently, otherwise dry, and central and northern areas. But that moisture does push into northern Nevada and southern Idaho by Friday. It gets squeezed a little bit by this low pressure area and another front approaching from the Pacific Northwest, so more green on the map. The islands of yellow become smaller and smaller, but dry air pushing into southern and eastern Utah. A lot of areas really don't see much precipitation, and we start drying things out again across parts of Utah as we go into Sunday. And then Monday, dry air reestablishes itself across our region. 7-day precipitation totals. Again, a lot of this has to do with that subtropical moisture, remnants of our tropical system, a tropical storm from earlier on, otherwise leftover amounts today. But overall, temperature-wise, above normal to a certain extent, especially the further east you go. Near normal precipitation in the southern third to southern half of the area, but wetter signals as you head further north. Once again, this is the last week of September. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.